Testing, 1, 2, 3, and a testing, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back. I hope everyone's staying safe. In my last video, we discussed a little bit about what the second wave of COVID-19 is going to mean for us and to the community. In this video, I want to discuss 5 things, very reasonable things that I think we can all do to help slow the spread of COVID-19. I'm not asking for anything super crazy that's going to inconvenience your life or slow down the amount of fun you're going to have this summer, but they're all super reasonable. So let's get into it. First one is getting tested. Make sure you get tested early and often. Check your state, local health website, whatever that is, whether it's the New York State Health or Washington, D.C. Health website. Check where the free testing locations are. Get a free testing to know what your current status is, whether or not you currently have COVID-19 or not. Now, the free testing is not going to tell you whether or not you're immune or whether you've had it in the past. But the first step is to know whether or not you have it right now. And that will definitely help you decide how you're gonna move and how contagious you are, what you may potentially be able to spread to others. Now, number 2, don't blow out candles. Now, this is an age-old one. People have talked about not blowing out candles for a long time, but even more so important now, making sure we're not blowing out candles on our cakes. I know summer birthday parties are the most fun. I have one myself. And so definitely, if you're gonna be out there celebrating birthday parties and getting cake, don't blow out any candles. Use a fan to fan out the fire. The last thing you need is a spread of all that aerosolized mucus and spit all over the cake or whatever you're eating. And this also applies for candles within the house. If you have a paper or a cardboard that you can blow out a candle with, I would stick to that as opposed to blowing it out, because you never know what you're spraying around all your surfaces of your household that you may forget to Lysol down or what have you. The third one is no misters and fog machines. Now it's the summer. It's looking like it's heating up to be a super hot summer too. Last few days were 90 degrees here up in the Northeast. So you want to make sure that you're taking precaution not to use things that are going to cause aerosolization of the air, that are not going to cause that mistiness. And so a mister is obviously going to be one of those things. When you're throwing those fun parties, try and avoid the fog machines. The fog and that mist, those are things that COVID-19 loves to travel in. Even in the hospital, we've avoided using procedures that we've used for years and years because they cause that same aerosolization, and we don't want to put us and the patients and people in other rooms at risk of that COVID-19 traveling and infecting others. So avoid the misters, avoid the fog machines if you can. I think that one's reasonable. Next up, this one some people might tell me is not reasonable, but don't share hookahs. Now, I know you think hookah, everyone has their own tip, so we should be good. But within that tube is just a bunch of water vapor that you're sucking in with the smoke from the tobacco. And that, in the same way that the misters and fog machines can carry that COVID-19. There's no telling how safe it is just by switching out the tip. So if you can avoid that, stick to sharing hookah with people that you would kiss anyway. But otherwise, skip that activity if you can, if that's reasonable. That's the only one on the list. I think that some people may argue with me that's reasonable or not. And the last one is no indoor parties. No bashment parties, no hot basement, shirt off parties. We're gonna avoid those this summer. I know those can be fun, gets hot and all kind of crazy, but we'll definitely avoid those, as that's the same environment. Similar, if we go back to the last two, it's gonna create that hot, foggy atmosphere, really easy for these viruses to travel from one person to another. And having that many people in close proximity, that's not for necessarily a good or necessary cause. We wanna avoid that if we can. And then also always remember, we're just gonna skip the handshakes this summer as well. We're gonna stick with the cool little elbows. You can make something up that's flashy or fly or what have you. Stick to those. We're gonna make sure we're continuing to hand wash and use sanitizer as much as possible. The price of sanitizer is coming back down, so it's reasonable to always have one on your keychain, in your car, wherever you are. And then making sure we wear our masks. Now, the recent study just came out showing that masks greater than 1 meter apart are more effective than masks in close range. So just keep in mind that masks will lower your probability. Again, they're not gonna protect you 100% from anything, but we wanna keep our chances down as much as we can. The name of the game is just lowering the probability in wherever aspect we can. And if you follow these 5 simple tips, easy things to avoid that are reasonable, you can still have a super fun summer without them. I think that'll go a long way in slowly starting to slow the spread of COVID-19. Now, everyone be safe, have a beautiful summer. Check you out at the next video.